On the show today, our symbol is still homelessness, and our continued discussion is fear. Hello, and welcome to So You Think You're Awake. With me today is Michael Sheridan. He does the
Hello.
And our life coach, manic healer, Susan Pullen.
Hello.
I'm your medium, Heidi Brooke, and our number is 425-373-5527. Call to tell us a dream or have a question for Susan. That number again is 425-373-5527.
Or a very difficult question for Heidi. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's no difficult questions for me. That's the beauty of it.
It does take the pressure off when you're not the one giving them.
Yes,
giving
it
the
does.
answers.
Last week we spoke about moving on from fear and how these fears can be highlighted in our dreams. And we didn't get to Susan's piece. So this week we're going to start with that, just in case Michael tries to jump in. Quickly, Susan, give us your piece. What? Well, you'd like to take up all the airtime.
Better than sucking all the air out of the room.
They do. Not that bad. I just want to make sure she gets to it.
Yep.
Okay,
So
on that
Susan,
note.
educate us.
Yeah. So last week we were talking about life purpose, and specifically fears about life purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know you kind of posed a question to us, Heidi, about what fears we had.
Yes, and I know you both dodged it pretty well.
Well, what I wanted to say was, how much time do you have? Like,
Susan
We
shared.
have an hour for the show, so that should cover it.
Susan shared her
58
fears
minutes for me
before.
to talk about fears. Yeah.
And a dream that she never told us what it meant.
What dream?
Which dream was that?
There was a dream with naked trolls or something.
They were not trolls. They're 7-foot-tall pixies.
I knew if I lied a little bit,
Yeah,
you'd
yeah, I
admit
knew
the
what you
dream. Otherwise, you would have said, no, I never had a dream like that, and made me look stupid.
I don't think we need any
I
more
was
of that.
waiting for that one. But that should have come from you, Susan. I left the door open for you.
No, I leave that to the two of you.
Anyway, from that show, we know Susan's biggest fear is somebody breaking into her house
Yeah, but that
and
doesn't have
using
to.
the restroom.
That's got to be my all-time favorite, because I have those irrational fears too, but
But this is not the show on irrational fears.
okay.
We did that one.
And it was very enlightening.
Yes.
But back on focus here.
So, but talking about fears related to life purpose, I've had plenty of those too. They're not as colorful. But, I think we've talked a little bit on the show about how I left my job, that had like a paycheck and life insurance and health insurance and benefits and that kind of thing. And, the two of you know what this is like as well. But going out on your own and taking that leap where you really feel called to do something, and so you do it, even though it's not clear how it will work out.
You stock up on ramen noodle first, though.
Right? Yeah. So I think that when we get close to something that's really important to us, like life purpose, like something that we feel like we're meant to do, that's when really a lot of fear often comes up for us. Because if it's something that we don't really care about, we can always walk away from it. It doesn't feel like the stakes are so high. But I think that fear is something that really commonly comes up when we start getting into the realm of life purpose.
As we get closer and closer, there seems to be, I didn't even know I had that fear.
Yeah.
That as well.
Yeah. And you're sort of cornered, in terms of like, you can't just you can walk away, but...
Well, I looked up a quote while you were talking because it reminded me of Warren Buffett. He says, working to beef up your resume is like saving up sex for your old age. And I thought, that will fit in well with Susan's piece.
See what I mean? Taking up the airtime. Come on, Susan.
Anyway, Warren Buffett thinks you did the right thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he does. I mean, I think he would. But he probably knows something about risk, too. Although, it gets less risky when you have more resources.
Yes, like you said, you had life insurance and you had health insurance and so on. You don't need the life insurance. If you die, it's a problem for someone else. Yeah. But the rest, you're right about.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, but I think like it feels really risky, but of course it's not really that risky. I mean, the greater risk is not doing it.
Yeah, it's easier to not do it.
It's easier to not do it, but I think at the end of our lives, looking back, like that's where
on the movie screen review, and we do have those movie screen reviews. I find that amazing, but we do.
Yeah, so I think when we get to that point to look back and say, well, I had to stay in that job because, that was my health insurance, versus like, well, I struck out and I went for it and I had to eat top ramen for 3 years.
But I achieved my life purpose.
Right.
Isn't that why we're here?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So, and I think that also there are so many forces at work to help us when we get on that path, when we commit ourselves to doing what we're meant to be doing, that also the risk is lower because we have that support.
A lot of people don't realize, so it's not just the quitting and doing it, it's what you learn about yourself in that, because it doesn't always go smoothly.
Right.
And it's up to you to figure out what it is you really need to be doing and so on, and overcome your own fears. And of course, you can't overcome your own fears if you stay in the job that's secure and wait for the pension.
Yeah. And I think that touches on another thing, Michael, that a lot of people, when they feel like they might have that feeling, I really feel like I'm meant to write a book, say, and then they sit down to write and they feel stuck, or they feel like, man, this is hard. And then sometimes the logic goes, well, if this is hard, then it's not really what I was meant to be doing.
Yeah.
But that's not true. But it's easy for us to think that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I can empathize with that feeling.
Yeah.
Twice.
having written a couple books. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think there are a whole host of fears that naturally come up when we get close to living really what we feel like we're called to do. And, we have fear that we'll have to change or let go of the current life that we have in order to pursue it. And, human beings really like habit, and we kind of like our comfortable groove. We'll call it a groove. We could call it a rut. We'll call it a groove.
Is it comfortable, though?
Well, there's that, what's that saying? There's the devil is... is
better than the devil you don't.
Right. And so it's like even though this is maybe uncomfortable, even though I'm not loving what I have, I know what it is and it feels safer.
Yeah.
Than
feeling of
than changing
safety.
something. Yeah. And I think we don't know, like, what will I have to change? What will I have to let go of in order to answer this call? Will I have to give up a relationship? Will I have to give up feeling secure, financially secure? Will I have to give up this standard of living that I'm used to? Will I have to give up my free time? Will I have to give up friendships or my living situation, or even like my sense of who I am? And it's not always like, sometimes we have to give up a sense of a limitation that we have, and even that can bring up fear. So here's an example. I feel very called to teach, and I know that teaching, facilitating groups is very much part of my calling and my work here, and I'm very afraid of speaking in front of groups. I'm not so much now, but for many years I was, and so I had to give up the story of I'm an introvert and I'm afraid of public speaking.
Because that doesn't really go well with the radio show either.
No, it does. Yeah. It's true. It doesn't.
But to help Susan overcome her fear of public speaking, we didn't turn on her mic for the first few shows. Didn't tell her that, though.
I thought that was just a malfunction.
So sometimes it's the belief that we have a certain limitation that we have to give up in order to. But again, there's fear there too.
Yeah. So logically, you quitting your job and going after what was a passion for you, but going after it full time and looking to support yourself that way. there seemed no logic in it at all, other than it's something you felt drawn to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, is it fair to say that it also helped you in other ways? Like, I don't know if we've ever said it on the show before, but you had migraines that you lived with, and they eased enormously when you took the risks, whereas you would think, looking at it from the outside, that it would be the other way around.
Yeah.
Don't add more pain.
Right. Don't add more stress.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think we've talked about it. I had a migraine for almost 5 years, 4.5, 5 years. And then it improved to the point where I just had a migraine 3 weeks out of the month. And that went on for another 10 years or something. So.
Wow. And now it's what?
Maybe a day a month.
Right.
Yeah.
So you suffer in silence. It's great. Must have you talk with Sandy. She doesn't know that one. Oh, was my mic on?
So, yeah, I think there's fear around, like, what sacrifices will we have to make? Because I think we inherently know that our life purpose is going to ask something of us.
Yeah. Test you.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, the word sacred and the word sacrifice, they have the same root. And I think when we get into the realm of life purpose and what we're here to do, we're very much in the realm of the sacred. And so it does require some sacrifice. And there really isn't getting around that. So obviously fear's going to come with that.
Now you tell me.
I know, right. Yeah, yeah. And I think that, you know, our ego or our mind or whatever you want to call it often tries to sort of confuse us or befuddle us and sort of frighten us into staying where it feels safe, you know, in that.
Stick with the groove, it's work.
Right, right.
But it doesn't really work.
It doesn't really work. It doesn't really work. But there is that part of ourselves that says, you know, you'll never make it. This will never work.
Yeah.
You'll waste on all your money, all your savings, and you know.
Savings, what are they? I know what they are. I have $5 in Becky.
You have to have that much in order to keep it up. You know, you've tried things before and they haven't worked, and what makes you think that this will work now? And like, we have that voice that nags at us oftentimes. So
I'll say nothing. All right, I'll be sleeping on the couch.
Okay, sometimes it's an external voice, but but sometimes it is an external voice. I mean, sometimes it's like a parent or something, or a friend or something even.
Get a real job, that one.
Right.
I know. I was never told that.
Or
which
you know,
is why I'm so comfortable in my group.
You know, the people who are frightened because the decisions that we're making don't seem to make sense to them, and they want us to be safe, and that or they want us to help pay the bills.
Yeah.
You know, and that contributes too.
And that fear, I went to a Matt Kahn show just recently last month, and he's like, you know, when you do the work like this, you become the weird guy or the weird girl. You become the weird one, and there's that fear as well. Is I don't want people to think I'm weird.
Yep.
And that's one of the securities people don't want to lose. They think they're going to lose their friends, and or just alienate some people, and generally doesn't happen, but it is a fear.
But I come across as the weird person anyway, even without disclosing what I do for a living.
Right.
So maybe that's the universe's way of alleviating that fear for me.
Yeah. I had a doctor a few years ago. I said, I know this, I might sound crazy when I say this. And she was like, oh, that ship has sailed a long time ago. So don't even worry about that.
All right. I'll mark it off the list.
Yeah. It was freeing, though.
That's funny.
But yeah, there is that part of us that worries about being weird oftentimes, or, you know, what will other people think, or will people still like us or respect us or understand us? And that part of ourselves that tries to tell us that we don't know what we're doing. So I think that part of our task is to keep coming back to the part of ourself that knows.
Well, that one you said, the inner critic, that where you're saying, okay, I'm not qualified to do this and so on.
Yeah.
You defeat that one by taking the risks, and you do feel a lot better about yourself. And then that's accumulative, because once you've done one thing, and then you do another thing, then you realize, okay, look, I'm stronger than I thought.
Yes.
And that's one of the whole purposes for taking these risks is that one.
Is
defeat the inner critic.
Yeah, and in growing in the direction of knowing how strong we are.
Yeah.
Knowing what we're capable. Well, I don't know that we ever know what we're capable of, but anyway, that we're capable of more than we thought.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I think that while there's often that inner critic, there's also often the part of us that knows that we're on the right path. And that part of us has a much quieter voice usually.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the megaphone and the blinking lights, but I think it's often still in there. And if we can just keep choosing to listen to that part, the part of us that knows, then I think that helps us get through the fear. And I think knowing that the fear is normal also helps. That, you're not crazy, and it doesn't mean that you're in the wrong place or doing the wrong thing. It's just
and that
like
silent scream you're doing all the time is normal.
Roll with it.
Yeah. So, and yeah. So I probably could come up with a long list of fears that often come up. And, that I'll have to give up the relationship that I'm in. I don't have this one now, but that was a thing for me. That, I would end up...
Hear that, Greg?
But years ago, I very much believed that if I followed my calling in the spiritual direction, that I would end up alone. I would end up, on my own. And so I see that's not true now. I think there was a lot of past life stuff.
No, because you and your partner are equally crazy, so it helps.
Yeah.
Aren't you doing a course together?
We are. End of the month. I'm so excited. Yeah. So, and then also when we take something really seriously, and it's hard not to take your life purpose seriously, but when we take things really seriously, that's also kind of a setup for fear. So I think when we can bring play and fun into it, which there's no reason why that shouldn't be there. I mean, when you take the pressure off a little bit and you realize like this is sort of a big experiment for us. I mean, it's a learning opportunity, right? It's not like the final exam. It's I don't know. We have some latitude, right? And
it's all about the experience. It's not necessarily that you stress out about it or take it super seriously. What's the one thing that I hear from guides all the time is don't take this too seriously. Don't take life too seriously. I mean, get what you need done. They'll tell you what to take seriously. But when it comes
take what we're saying seriously.
But when it comes to your life purpose and the whole process, it's about enjoyment as much as it is about getting it done.
Yeah. And I think we see that in dreams too, like
they're always
with games or things like that show up in dreams.
Amusement parks quite often show up in dreams about channeling to overcome the fears.
Yeah.
Like have fun with this.
Yeah.
Like fun on a roller coaster. Oh my God, I'm going to die.
And that's so fun.
Yeah. But the other, another spin on the same thing just is, and it's all coming from the same source, is if you look at it from the law of attraction's perspective, then if you're afraid that you won't survive if something fails, then you could be taught that, look, everything was fine when it failed. So it's
and things will keep failing.
But you got to watch what you're really trying to bring into your life. Are you trying to bring in your success by focusing on the success, or are you really making things hard by focusing on your fears and all the things that can go wrong? Like people will often focus on the 9 different ways something can fail, and it can only fail one of those ways, but yet they'll focus on 9 of them.
Because they're avoiding it by worrying about it.
But they're giving
right?
all the energy to the possibility of failure. And then your guides have to work against that with you. So if you can realize that and then have fun and just focus on the positives, then it's going to be much easier for you. I know that's easy to say and harder to do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think one of the things that sometimes helps with that is putting the focus on the process. Like however this turns out, I'm becoming a better person through the process.
Yes, I now know 10 other ways not to do this.
like
I'm
Edison.
very clever.
Yeah. Well, I think there's something to that. When we can, honor that we get something out of that too. It takes some of the pressure off. And I think that's that's the theme here. That's what's needed is is taking the pressure off, still engaging with it, but having more fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and again, that there are forces at work that want us to succeed, and
they just want us to succeed at our life purpose,
right?
Not
right.
the opposite thing. And so, what people go, well, this never works out for me. This never works out for me. That's the biggest hint you can get that you're not following your life path. So, with that, though, we're going to take a quick break. After the break, we will come to our caller who's been waiting on the line, and we'll have some more dreams. You listen to So You Think You're Awake.
What if I told you that you could unlock all the secrets of your life? That you have a key that opens all the doors that seem impossible to open? A key to right now begin a new life of awareness and complete understanding. Every night, you are told the secrets of the universe and your place in it. With full consciousness of what you came here to do, you embrace that knowledge. But there's a catch. The only way to keep the wisdom you've been given is to turn it into a dream so it can cross the veil into the physical world. Your dreams have all the answers to every question you've ever asked and every question you've yet to ask. Your dreams guide you back onto the path to your enlightenment. Join me, Michael Sheridan,
and me, Heidi Brooke,
on our interactive online course as we guide you through your dreams and help you to begin a new level of awareness. Over the course of just 6 weeks, I will interpret your dreams,
and I will channel your guides,
and we guarantee to put you back on your path. Visit us at dreamtrackersguide.com to contact us or learn more. That's dreamtrackersguide.com.
Hello, my name is Heidi Brooke, and I am a channel. From as early as I can remember, my angels, my guides, have impressed messages on me that have helped me navigate through life. The truth is, though, that everybody has angels, specifically selected to guide us on our journey. Though you already know this because the world is beginning to wake up. I have been offering readings professionally for over a decade. By asking you to establish a channel with your angels, you can hear invaluable information on how to improve your life. You can learn more about your partner, your career, your past lives, and your health. Your angels are waiting to guide you on your life path and to assist you with discovering your life purpose. Take the next leap in your spiritual journey and book a one-to-one session with me today.
Book readings with Heidi by visiting angelsontheline.com or emailing Heidi@angelsontheline.com. Heidi is available over the phone, on Skype, and in person.
Have you been running around putting out fires and now you're feeling burned out? What if this burnout is a sign of needing a different kind of fire? Maybe it's time to rekindle your inner fire. Come to Illuminating the Soul, a weekend retreat with me, Susan Pullen, and Dr. Greg Yasuda. This is your opportunity to get back in touch with what lights you up and brings you to life. August 26th to 28th in Duvall, Washington. Details are online at true-radiance.com. That's true-radiance.com.
We're the black sheep of talk radio. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to So You Think You're Awake. Our number to call is 425-373-5527. And we have Sandra on the line with the dream for Michael.
Hi, Sandra.
There you go.
A question for Heidi is what you have. Can we have your dream? Thanks for waiting, by the way.
Oh, hi.
So, can you give us your dream?
Yes, no problem. I didn't know that I was on.
Ah, right, okay, yeah. We sorry to wake you up. Did you have a new dream?
I guess so. No, the dream that I had was about a week ago, and it started off I had my own apartment. I had started dating this guy who looked like Drew Lachey, which was part of 98 Degrees, the band about maybe 10 years ago. But it was not Drew Lachey. This guy was some kind of, it felt like he was an architect or something. And because we had started dating, he seemed to be not confused, but he seemed to be kind of felt like he had to be committed or in some way. And in the dream, I was in his kitchen, in his house. He had a big house. I was in his kitchen, and I was washing the dishes, and then he came to me and he said, I have to go into the office. Something came up, and he looked like he had to have my permission to go. And I said, you don't need to ask me. You don't have to have my permission to go into the office. And he looked at me very surprised, like as though he was kind of confused. But at the same time, happy to know, surprised but happy to know that he didn't have to ask for permission to go to the office. And then after that, I guess he took off. He went to the office. And I went down to the basement, which was kind of like not finished, still on dirt. And in the basement, I couldn't tell you exactly what kind of room it was, but all I know is there was something in the middle of the room, and under that there was all I can call it is a colony of cats. And
Right.
Somebody appeared in that room and said, because it didn't smell bad or anything, but it was just like a cat's new litter sort of thing. And somebody came out of sort of another room or a closet, and the person was in a wheelchair, and he said, don't worry about that cat. That cat has a litter every other month or so. A new litter every other month or so. And then he told me that the owner, the guy, the architect, my new date, had tried to keep one cat for about 2 to 3 months, and it didn't work out, and he had to let it go because he was never home. After that, I kind of, yeah?
Is there much more?
Yeah, a tiny bit more. After that, I went down again a stack of stairs into what was another basement, and my daughter had a bedroom in that basement, and the ceiling leaked of urine, cat urine, and it started dripping on me.
Okay.
And that's how it ended.
All right. So there's some things that are very clear in the dream. So you have the theme of you're washing dishes in the sink in the kitchen. So we have the kitchen is to do with digestion and elimination because you're cleaning stuff off the plates. So the dream is saying, one of the things the dream is saying is you need to do things to look after your elimination system, particularly the colon, because you go down into a basement, and the way you describe it with all the cats. And cats in dreams, in this dream anyway, are, especially because you're talking about the litter, are also about your digestive system. Okay. In fact, they're one of the most common symbols we'll see indicating the digestive system in dreams. And you said there's a long line of cats, so it's saying that there's food backed up in your digestive system, in your elimination system, that is causing you problems. And the problems are linked with what would help these problems is opening up to channeling, because we have the band member in your dream, getting closer and more intimate with your male side, get to understand your male strengths. And that's what you have this partner in the dream, and he's a musician. I know you're saying he only looks like him, but he's a musician. So we know it's to do with channeling. And then we have the man in the wheelchair, shows that some male aspect of you is handicapped in some way or is being held back in some way. So male side has to do with, there's quite a list, but if you see, like, rather than just saying male energy, if you work it out for yourself, is to do it confidence, belief in yourself, whatever it has to be. I mean, there's many different things, controlling and so on. But if we just say confidence for the moment, or belief in yourself for the moment, okay. Pinpoint it, and that helps you to say, okay, I know now if I work on the issues that I have with that part of myself, which maybe come from dad, it usually comes from a male character who didn't support you early in your life when you needed it. But it can be a female character if they're very male in their approach. But anyway, so it's very easy to look at that and say, I know where that comes from. So work on that. That's going to help your channeling, because it's going to give you the confidence that you need, because you are a channel. And whether you feel confident in it or not, you've got the ability. So that will help you overcome the fears. And then the last thing in the dream is the issues with the elimination system also affect your reproductive system. So
Okay.
Working on all that male energy stuff will really, really help your body in a lot of ways. Is there anything I missed? Anything
Are you aware of a UTI that you have right now?
Of a what?
A UTI.
What's that?
It's It's an infection in the urinary tract.
Oh yeah, I've had it since I was a baby.
Yeah, so it's talking about that too, and this is what's going to alleviate that, and you shouldn't suffer from the UTIs anymore.
Okay.
So really working on issues with your dad, and hint in the dream, you are the age your daughter is in the dream when you pick these up.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Sandra.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice dream. I mean, the message is very clear, but it's great when you can say, okay, here's a problem I've had for a long time, and this is going to help me solve it. And that wouldn't have been the first dream Sandra had about that. It would have been.
I know.
Yeah, so it's great to finally get one.
I know. I
on the
feel
show.
like, and every time I want to call with a dream, I keep hearing a voice saying, "You've already been through this. We've already been through this." So, but no, I think maybe it wasn't clear enough, but now it is clear enough, and I know I do have issues with confidence and knowing that it started when I was 6 or 7 years old, which was around the time that my dad began to abuse me. So it makes sense.
Okay, all right.
Okay, great.
Well, you can contact us outside the show, and we can give you some tools that you can use to work on that. So,
all right, thank you very much.
All right,
Thanks,
take care,
Sandra.
Okay, bye.
So why is it, Michael, you said cats are the most common symbol
because
for...
cat gut was used for a lot of things like stitches, fishing lines, and sutures, and but we have an expression in Ireland after you have 20 pints of Guinness, which is a regular night's drinking. The following day, you would say, "My stomach is cat." They don't have that over in America, but it still holds. I've seen enough dreams with cats in them to show they mean that. But cats can be about other things. Just this one, it's definitely about the elimination system because it was down in the basement. And the basement is also going to be about things that need to be brought to light and so on. Subconscious kind of fears and issues. And they may not be subconscious, but we may think that suppressing them is helping us.
Or ignoring them
as
well, which can happen.
And so it sounded like there was maybe a pun in there too, because she said a colony of cats, which could be a pun on Pullen.
Absolutely, yeah. Almost always a pun in a dream. But I've stopped pointing them out because people look at me really funny and go, "You really stretched for that one." And it's like, I didn't stretch. The dream stretched. Never mind.
So, of course, what Susan was talking about earlier, the fear of entering into your spiritual life. And really that fear is about sharing yourself, sharing your inner light, which is the gift as well.
What if people don't accept me, or if they think I'm crazy and so on? Yeah. So if you could start with that premise, well, people already think you're crazy. So see if you can improve it from here.
And here we have a dream as well, which is actually
were
titled...
you going to talk about the webinar?
I can. Should I?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys had a webinar last night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we had a webinar. And anybody who's been listening to the show for a while would know that this is, for Michael, this is just a morsel of what is covered on his course. The teaching you how to interpret your dreams so that you have it going forward, a tool that you can use forever once you do take the course, because they follow symbols, they're learning. Anybody who's ever gone to grade school can take this course. That's beautiful. It's very user-friendly. Let me see what I have here. Michael, what is your course like?
It's just fantastic. It's a combination of 25 years of teaching classes one-to-one, which I still do. So I was trying to find a way to do an online course that captured all that and captured the intimacy and this basically taking the best pieces of the in-person ones and recording them at the top of my game so that they made sense and that they sort of stood on their own. So I've broken the course up into, it used to be 2 days or 2.5 days, and now it's 60 videos. But they're all bite-sized. You can digest them at your own pace, or you can follow along with the speed I release them at, which is 2 modules a week, which is about 6 or 7 videos, a little bit more maybe. But we've added you to the course. So
yeah, that's the best part.
But the focus of this course is, so I used to say, okay, do the course and you'll learn how to interpret your dreams. And then I would sneakily tell people what their issues were and how to deal with their issues, and then we would begin working on them in the course. Or if you had abilities that showed up, like healing, I would show people how to start doing that and so on. But this time around, I'm saying, okay, look, the course is about discovering your life purpose. And so the focus is really from that perspective. Discover your life purpose. What did you come here to do? Why did you come here to do it? And how are you going to use it? How are you going to use your abilities combined or with other people, if you've got more than one ability, and most of us do. And
that's where I come in too as well with channeling. I can channel exactly how you should do this. Not that your dreams don't say it, but with the combination with the channeling, we can pinpoint exactly.
Well, we saw it there, like with Sandra's dream, and you asked her, do you have a UTI? It's that sort of addition to what I get from the dreams. It really helps.
Yeah, it really makes it to be that there will be no aspect of yourself that will remain in the dark. You won't walk away from this course not knowing who you are and what you came here to do.
Yeah. And then it takes about 2.5 years from knowing what you're meant to do to actually starting to do it, which isn't a long time. Sounds like it might be. But if you consider you're going from I'm not sure whether I'm doing the right thing to now I know exactly what I'm meant to do, how I'm meant to do it, and I just have to prepare myself and sort of step out and do it. So if you're
get over the fears.
Yeah, get over the fears. But if you're 40 years on the planet already, 2.5 years is not a long time to really get into the flow of what you're meant to be doing. And it's not that for everybody, but if you have to,
that's just a general timeline.
Be concerned about
noticed.
Finances. You have to change your way of thinking. But it's a fun ride from that point on. It is a fun ride. It's very interesting, exciting.
And of course, yesterday we had the webinar, which was just so people could tune in and get a taste of what the course would look like. And I think it went really well.
Oh, I was very happy with it. It was the first one we did, so I was quite nervous deciding what will I put together. So if you go to dream-analysis.com and click radio show, the webinar, yesterday's webinar is there. And there's lots of detail in the webinar. There's lessons in the webinar. I've taken dreams from past course participants and analysed those and showed exactly what their dreams mean. Not focusing on how I got that information, but showing these are the symbols, this is what they mean, and here's what it all means put together. And I did something that I don't normally do, which is show how when you learn something from your dreams and you get that message, how your dreams shift quickly to now moving to talking about something else or a refinement about that information. So you would have over the course of your life the same information being given to you repeatedly because you're not listening to it. But when you do listen to it and you do hear it, then it's like, okay, now that you know you've got that ability, here's something else you need to know about it. And it's really cool to see the dreams kind of like be a dialogue that way. Was there anything else? It's a 1 hour show. I mean, it's entertaining. It's as entertaining as this is. And we mentioned it last week, but the difference is you can see, because we have the dreams on a storyboard and we're breaking the symbols out to show, okay, this is how we get it all. You smiled there, Susan, when I said as entertaining as this show.
Well, at the risk of being fired, I have some comments about the webinar that were sent in yesterday. So I'll read these for Michael's benefit.
Oh, yeah, of course. You were part of it.
I know, I did it for me too. So this lady sent in, thank you so much for hosting Wednesday's webinar. I have been studying dream interpretation for 20 years, and I have to say that was the most accurate dream interpretation I have ever heard. I am looking forward to signing up for the classes.
Yeah. Did that come from my email address? You'd nearly think it did.
I know, I checked it.
Was it Sandy's?
She stopped doing that a little while ago. And this one is, hi Michael, hi Heidi, that was great. My daughter and I watched it together and she was fascinated. She especially loved that not only did Taylor Swift get featured in one of the dreams, but that she is a sign of being a channel. Of course. And then this other one, just one more, sorry guys. Hi Michael, loved the webinar. You covered so much. You and Heidi are quite a team.
There you go.
So we did get quite a good response for it. And if you like the webinar, you'll like the course.
Yeah, so Heidi was answering questions in the background. So we got lots of questions, and that's great. That's what we wanted. And Heidi was answering them in the background. And but you have to sort of get into a mode of, okay, I'm not going to look and see how many people are attending live right now in case I see the number drop and then start to panic.
But it didn't.
No, I know.
I was watching it.
But it's just funny. I don't know how you could do it on your own because there's so much of a technical side to the whole thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was fun. Afterwards, it was fun.
Looking back on it.
Yes, there you
was
go.
fun.
Looking back, it was fun the whole time.
So are you going to do another webinar, or I
Well,
guess people
we've
can
got the
listen to
replay of that
replay?
one,
Mhm.
and we definitely will do more webinars.
Yeah,
no question about it.
before the next course. But the very next course starts on August 6th,
Saturday.
which is this Saturday.
Yeah.
And you can get the details at...
Yeah, the details are there, and we actually got coupons working now on the site, so there's a 15% off coupon.
Ooh.
And I wish it was working before the webinar, and we could have said it in the webinar, but now you know it's there, so that really helps.
And that's at dream-analysis.
dream-analysis.com and click radio show, and you'll see the webinar. And I'm not sure if I mentioned the coupons there, but definitely in the YouTube archive of it we do, but I'll make sure they're there. I'll make sure they're up on the site after the show today.
Okay, so you have the details. Go to that and learn more. But just, that kind of gives you a taste of what our life purpose is, or what your individual life purpose is, Michael, and mine, and the fears behind that. And, what is it? It's about sharing those gifts, sharing those lights, like I was saying earlier. And I am going to get to this dream. It's entitled...
So Heidi cheats. Heidi channels. So she calls me in the morning and says, my guides are telling me that you need to do this. You need to watch my children every Thursday night between 5 and 7.
And it's only worked once with the No, so, it does take a lot, sharing those parts of us, those gifts. And this next dreamer can relate, and it's cleverly entitled Sharing My Coins.
Yeah.
Okay, so she says, and this is from Alice, she says, I'm outside in a place that seems mostly a scene of grey dirt. I don't notice any greenery, and there is an older woman there who is standing and looking at me in a needy way. She has shorter, curly brown hair, and her face is very weathered, and I understand that she must be homeless and is begging, wanting me to give her something. I am uncomfortable, then notice 2 men coming down around the bend behind her on the dirt path on which she's standing. I decide this is like some sort of homeless encampment community, although I see no tents or other physical items. The men are each carrying an empty, large 5-gallon water jug, the kind that is clear blue plastic, and they are cheerfully interacting with people along the way. I realise the jugs are for collecting money. I remember having a $1 bill in my desk drawer, which is now behind me. I open the drawer to get the $1 to give to the woman, who is still standing and looking at me. When I look in the drawer, I'm surprised to find there are actually a lot of silver coins in it, a mix of quarters and nickels, and also some large ancient-looking coins. I grab some of the regular coins and ancient coins to put in the water jug that is now by me. I'm dropping the coins in the jug while the woman is still watching me, and I'm still feeling uncomfortable. I'm wondering whether she'll be satisfied by my donation. I have no idea of the value of the large old coins, but I somehow understand they're rare and more valuable. Okay, I should have broken that up into 2, shouldn't I? But homelessness is what you wanted to cover as a symbol. And that's really about trying to find your place or being unsettled about something. It doesn't have to be about all of your life, but it could be about, I don't know what my position is on X. And that can show up as being in a mobile home or a tent or here being homeless is an extreme. Now, we didn't ask the streamer if she was ever homeless. So, of course, if you were ever homeless, then it's going to feature in your dreams and it's going to be different. So here anyway, we have, it starts off, it seems she's outside in mostly a scene of grey dirt. So we know the colon comes into that dream. I don't notice any greenery. The greenery is going to be about the heart. The curly brown hair of this older woman is about depression. So the dreamer can have a tendency to be depressed. And the dream is going to be helping fix that. What you will notice is the feelings that come up in the dream, feeling uncomfortable around this woman. So the feeling of being uncomfortable is about issues with mom, because if we're going to look at the gender of the woman in the dream and being comfortable with there. So what we can say is what we get from the words in the dream, neglected or uncomfortable with my female side. So it's not that mom neglected me, but my emotional needs weren't met is the way to probably put it. And then the $1 is about sharing yourself. And we know this is because the dream is asking the dreamer to give money or donate. And that's about sharing yourself, putting energy into doing something for other people. And of course, that's the same as, that's the opposite of being closed off and not sharing yourself, which is as a result of your childhood. But the $1 is you sharing you, because we have the 1 and it's in a desk drawer. So that's saying that your office job or something like that has caused you to limit yourself even more, that you're comfortable limiting yourself because of that position. So put energy into your spiritual abilities, because it's a water jug and it's 5 gallons. So this is saying this is your karmic path, that you're meant to work on your spiritual abilities. And it will heal your kidneys and your fears, because we have the jugs there as well. Anyway, is there anything in that? The large ancient coins, they're really good. So this is about something that you've done in the past. So you had a past life where you did this work. So when you do get into it in this lifetime, it will resonate with you. It'll be easy.
It'll be invaluable.
Yes, absolutely. And so it's interesting to see she didn't hold on to those in the dream, and that's what you would have expected her to do. So she did the right thing by also donating those coins. So it's using your gifts from the past, using not being afraid to share the precious side of yourself, the valuable side of yourself. And then we also notice like the men in the dream. So age 2 is where this all comes back to, because we have 2 men in the dream. And they're going through the homeless encampment community. So it's all about community. That's emphasized there. So even if you were to take the extreme of being homeless and not having a house, not having anything, these people looking after each other, because there's a sense of community there, even without the houses. It's to remind you that you're also looked after. And I'm looking at the time. Should we take a break?
Yeah, we'll take another break. You're listening to So You Think You're Awake.
What if I told you that you could unlock all the secrets of your life? That you have a key that opens all the doors that seem impossible to open? A key to right now begin a new life of awareness and complete understanding. Every night you are told the secrets of the universe and your place in it. With full consciousness of what you came here to do, you embrace that knowledge. But there's a catch. The only way to keep the wisdom you've been given is to turn it into a dream so it can cross the veil into the physical world. Your dreams have all the answers to every question you've ever asked and every question you've yet to ask. Your dreams guide you back onto the path to your enlightenment. Join me, Michael Sheridan,
and me, Heidi Brooke,
on our interactive online course as we guide you through your dreams and help you to begin a new level of awareness. Over the course of just 6 weeks, I will interpret your dreams,
and I will channel your guides,
and we guarantee to put you back on your path. Visit us at dreamtrackersguide.com to contact us or learn more. That's dreamtrackersguide.com.
Hello, my name is Heidi Brooke, and I am a channel. From as early as I can remember, my angels, my guides, have impressed messages on me that have helped me navigate through life. The truth is, though, that everybody has angels, specifically selected to guide us on our journey. Though you already know this because the world is beginning to wake up. I have been offering readings professionally for over a decade. By asking me to establish a channel with your angels, you can hear invaluable information on how to improve your life. You can learn more about your partner, your career, your past lives, and your health. Your angels are waiting to guide you on your life path and to assist you with discovering your life purpose. Take the next leap in your spiritual journey and book a one-to-one session with me today.
Book readings with Heidi by visiting angelsontheline.com or emailing Heidi@angelsontheline.com. Heidi is available over the phone, on Skype, and in person.
Do you love your life? What would it be like if you did? Is there something you're ready to release and be done with? Or maybe there's something you'd like to transform or to create that's new. I'm Susan Pullen with True Radiance Healing Arts, and I'm passionate about partnering with you to make the changes you want to have a life you love. I have times available now for a private session or a personal full-day retreat with me, either in person in Edmonds, Washington, or by phone or Skype. Find me online at true-radiance.com. That's true-radiance.com, and start loving your life.
Broaden your horizons. You'll be amazed at all the topics we cover on Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to So You Think You're Awake with me, Heidi Brooke, Michael Sheridan, and Susan Pullen. I really like the title of that last dream, Sharing My Coins. It's amazing how revealing the titles of a dream can be. I'm just wondering, though, like, does everybody that sends dreams into you, do they use a title or...
Most people do, because we always ask for it. And the reason we ask for it is because even in a very long dream, like, that could have been anything. She could have called it the homeless encampment. But when we title a dream ourselves, we know what the focus is. So sharing being in the title, we know it's mostly about the heart straight away.
Yeah.
And then the coins are gifts, like sharing my valuable side.
So even as people are interpreting their own dreams.
Well, even if you don't interpret a dream, you're still going to be drawn to the focus, and you're going to title it from the focus. So it's really huge. And in fact, I've been carrying around for ages. This one person sent in lots of dreams, but like, here's a title: "Escaped Death by Garbage Dumpster." Straight away, it's something to do with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
let's see if we can see from the title of this next dream, the window and the roof.
Okay, so the window tells us, and the roof tells us it's the spiritual side of this dreamer, and the window tells us that she has a psychic ability. So anything that's above eye level in a dream is something you're being asked to look up to or respect. So she has a strong intuition, and the dream is saying, look, use your intuition to get a window on what it is you need to be doing. So that typically comes when there's things going on in somebody's life where they're wondering what they should be doing, like things don't seem clear, they seem a little bit muddled right now. So then let's have a look at the dream.
Oh, sure, we don't need to know.
That's true, let's skip it. I was in my childhood home. Arthur, a very talented jazz piano player, so we know she's a channel. I'm not going to make the mistake of reading the whole thing. So she's a channel because we have a musician, just like with our caller. In the garage, there were extra living quarters and bedrooms, and lots of antique kitchen utensils were hanging on the wall. So we have the antique kitchen. So this is kitchen utensils that go back to a former life because they're antiques. So it means, and what are kitchen utensils for? They're for preparing food and feeding yourself. So this dreamer has a healing ability because the focus is not on digestion, but it's on nourishing others. And anything to do with giving people energy is going to be about a healing ability. Anyway, they're hanging on the wall. There was a window in the roof that opened up. So this is asking her to open up and use that. Arthur wanted to climb through it to see the good view from the roof. And that's great. Good that he wanted to do that. Of course, she's everything in the dream. So it's like if he represents her channeling side, it's her guides are telling her that use your intuition. So that's really important. We get a feeling that tells us, hey, this is the right thing to do or this is the wrong thing to do. And we don't have to understand the feeling. So her guides are telling her in the dream, because they've already told her in reality, follow your intuition, use your intuition, because that's giving you the correct steer. Anyway, he pointed out the very thick wood roof material on the garage, and I pointed out how solid it was since it had been there 27 years and never needed replacing. Hilarious, isn't it? 27 years, how that shows up in a dream. And 2 is about channeling, and 7 is about spiritual path. So the 27 says that she's a channel as well, and that she's got a very solid foundation on which to channel, because she's talking about how solid all this is too. There was a newborn baby in the house, and also one that needed special tending in a room in the garage. So the newborn baby is saying that this is something that she is responsible for looking after. It's a responsibility of hers to develop her healing ability and use it, and her intuition and use it, and her channeling and use it.
And I love how the dream just kind of underlines that by saying the baby needed special tending.
Yes, absolutely. So it's,
in case you missed it.
Yeah.
It's important.
Kid gloves. There were cobwebs as we climbed up to get to the roof window. Now that tells us a lot. That means that she hasn't used this, so you need to dust off the cobwebs. And cobwebs would be the remnants after irrational fears that blocked you from using it at some point in your life. Ooh, looking at the time. So speeding up, I told him that my husband would have to take us up there. Then I was in a room and dozed, and when I woke up, there was a baby on a bed with me, and my dad's wife and her kids were opening gifts because they were celebrating someone's birthday. So these are gifts you brought with you, and you need to celebrate these gifts. I went into the kitchen because it was time to eat, and I was wondering what to prepare and where to eat. So again, you're the one preparing the food, so it's about you nourishing others. I also noticed a vacuum cleaner in the corner of the room, maybe the kitchen. Also noticed at one point it was pouring rain outside. So pouring rain is really good. That's about letting life in, and the vacuum cleaner is about eliminating these old fears, the remnants of these old fears. And I corresponded with this dreamer to make sure it wasn't about her own digestive system. And part of the correspondence, she sent me another dream. She says, I just remembered another dream I had, including a vacuum. In the downstairs of my house, I had found a TV covered in dust. So the TV is about her clairvoyant channeling ability. I began to dust it off, but realised I needed a vacuum. So now we know why the vacuum was in the other dream. So I went into the garage and found what my husband had attached, that he had attached the hose into the electrical outlet. And the electrical outlet is about her healing ability because it's a source of power. So it's saying she needs to use her healing ability to help overcome her own fears, and so on and so on. So anyway, really good. They all fed into each other. So that's going to be our lot for this week. We want to thank our producer and engineer, Eric Ryder. Thank you very much. Thank you, Susan, for your enlightening piece and for letting Heidi take the jabs at you there. Wasn't me. And anything else? We've already said our quote, which was really lovely. And
just to continue to send in the dreams.
Yes, and we do send the dreams to radioshow@dream-analysis.com. That's where we pick them from. We'll do lots more of those next week. And remember, we have the course starting this Saturday, and look up the webinar.
Thanks for listening.